How can I help you, Ensign?
Personal question for you, sir, if you don't mind my asking. When you have to win a man's affections over the course of a mission, does it bother you?
Getting close to our targets is one of the perks of this job.
You're a cad, sir. Don't mistake me, I've been involved with plenty of the wrong men, but going in there was always the chance they'd work out. I don't know how I'd make that connection if I knew it wouldn't last. Or if I had someone waiting back home.
Romance is an option, but so is negotiation. So is blackmail. Don't feel obligated.
I appreciate that, sir. It's all just a bit muddled. At least I have my parents as an example. Happily married Cipher agents, so far as I ever knew.
That doesn't surprise me. Intelligence might have encouraged the partnership.
And isn't it lovely when our professional and personal lives meet? Thank you for your honesty, sir. You won't regret these sessions.
You wanted something, Vector?
We do not neglect our duties. We are Dawn Herald. We do this for the Nest. Agent, we've had another request from Fulner Eth, our ally inside the diplomatic service. We need to take a short leave.
I heard you talking to the emissaries of the Nest. Is everything all right?
Everything's fine. The distance from our kin is unusual and causes rifts. Fulner's stock is rising, but he needs further acclaim before he can push for a Killik Imperial Alliance. He's asked us to visit a former Republic governor named Yogana Thanoth and win his cooperation by turning him into a joiner.
He joins the Nest, you learn everything he knows and share it with the Empire. You can't blame Fulner for asking.
We'd hoped Fulner wanted us for our diplomatic skills, not for this. The joining should be a gift, but we will find a way.
You know this isn't right. Don't do it, Vector.
We appreciate your concern. We ask that you trust our decision.
You're back. Did you find your man?
We spoke to the Republic Governor. If you'll join us, we'll report the details to Fulner Eth.
My friends, it's been too long.
Fulner, we assume you've heard from Thanoth.
He contacted me from an Imperial transport. Apparently we promised to work with him. Not what I requested, but the service can make do.
There was no need to make him a joiner when he was amenable to discussion.
You haven't lost your touch as a diplomat after all.
Not entirely, no.
You kept your promise. Thanoth's assistance resulted in my promotion. I will keep my promise to you. Some important people are waiting, Vector. They're very interested in a potential Killik alliance.
You arranged this?
As soon as I knew we could work together. Check the data I'm streaming to your main console.
Thank you, Fulner. Excuse us a moment, Agent.
It's like talking to a bug wearing a man's skin. I don't know how you stand it.
He's a brave man, and a loyal Imperial.
You can't be serious. Those creatures are anathema to everything the Empire stands for. There's no place for great men in a hive mind. Only animal instinct. I'll be relieved when you people finish this scheme and get rid of the colony for good.
Agent, they listened. They don't understand yet, but they listened. The diplomatic service has requested my aid and wants to initiate relations with the colony.
Listen, Fulner Eth is keeping his deal, but he's repulsed by Killiks. We can't trust him.
He admits it? We always did get an odd sense from him. It's out of his hands now, though. We should watch him, but we'll be focused on the future.
What can I do for you, Doctor?
Forgive me, but as your sole medical officer, I have to point out that your eating habits have been less than satisfactory lately. Now, I'll take my share of the blame. I've been preoccupied making calls, catching up on what I've missed in the intelligence community. Still, the fact that people are trying to kill me does not excuse my neglect of your health.
I appreciate your concern, but you've done a fine job.
Says the child to the unstrict parent. But regarding my search, I do have some small amount of news. I've identified one of the assassins as an operative for Colonel Langor, a man with ties to the Imperial Science Bureau. The Bureau is also the likely origin of the other dead men whose genetic structure had been mutated. Weaponized humans.
I've heard of the Bureau, but I don't know much about it.
Military research, organized like an insect's hive of divisions and subdivisions with their own would-be queens. Which reminds me, I'd like your permission to run some tests on Master Vector. I'm rather curious about a joiner's physiology, and Vector is keen to learn more about himself.
If it won't cause harm, I don't have any objections.
Wonderful. I'll let him know the good news. And of course, I'll keep you apprised.
Accessing first data fragment. Applying preliminary decryption algorithm.
Got the call, but make it quick. I don't want to be missed.
93% likelihood speaker is designate Hunter.
Proceed with the operation, Cipher 9. We will continue reconstruction attempts. Accessing second data fragment. Modifying decryption algorithm.
This will, of course, be my final appearance at these gatherings, but the galaxy I leave behind.
No voice print identification available. Reconstruction incomplete.
Accessing third data fragment. Attempting playback.
My sympathies. With the old man lost, the next enforcer will be difficult to train.
Experiencing data corruption. We will hope the last fragment provides redundancy.
Accessing fourth data fragment. Splicing now.
I am here. All is ready.
This is Keeper. Cipher, get out of there. Reinforcements are on the way, and there's nothing more you can do.
On my way back to the ship.
The Watchers will try to reconstruct the holoconference back at headquarters. Come to Drum and Cars as soon as possible, and we'll figure out our next move. Keeper out.
What's going on, Ensign?
Sir, Dr. Loken's been filling in the gaps in my education. He has quite a few stories. Here's what puzzles me. I've always been taught to respect the chain of command, and yet you... How does anyone control a field agent?
Placing an operative in the field is always a risk. If you don't trust someone's judgment, you don't send him out.
What sort of judgment, though? You can't make operational decisions from the front line.
Eventually, you stop relying on your handbook and you put the good of the Empire first.
I was hoping for something more concrete. Maybe a numbered list? I don't want to do wrong, sir. My father ignored an edict from the Sith, and instead of facing his punishment, he ran. I won't repeat his mistake. Accidentally.
Have a little faith in yourself. If the time comes, you'll make the right call.
It's nice to hear you say that, sir. I'll stop troubling you about this. Back to the job, then.
Agent, there's something we want you to know. Our obsession lately has been with the colony and the diplomatic service. We're sure you've noticed that we've been distant.
You've had a lot on your mind, and I've had an empire to save. Not a lot of time for bonding.
And at least we're using our time productively. Regardless, we're finished repairing ourselves. We found the part of our mind that understood humanity, and we're relearning how to use it. We couldn't have done this without you. And we don't want to be distant anymore.
No more disappearing when things get difficult.
What we did was necessary. But we won't go through it again. What will be the next verse of our song?
We'll discover it together.
As you wish.
Utilize fractal thought pattern 27. Reanalyze.
Come in. They're reconstructing the conspirators' holoconference now.
Anything turn up so far?
Preliminary analysis bears out our theory. The call was initiated by Hunter, somewhere in the Bremer sector 6 months ago. The recording you pulled is intact, but... Watcher 9?
Splicing and decryption complete.
Rules of the Chorus Covenant. I call this meeting to order.
Spare us the corporate posture and report.
Since you're in a hurry, Senator Varala and Representative Shuru are predictable as always.
And Commodore?
All taken care of. What about you? Those earnest Padawans keeping you up at night?
Different participants on different data streams. Processing.
There's Hunter. What about the others?
I don't know.
Domain is unsettled, as we expected. I must again raise the concern. Do we overplay our hand?
There is the chance it will spin out of control. Darth Angral, Darth Barris, now the children are awakening.
For each, there is a Republic counterbalance.
We're letting loose the reins, but we're not taking off their blinders. Sit back and enjoy the spectacle.
However much power they've got, they see their plan as a risk.
To bicker. Each of us agreed to the timetable. Each of us reports success in our own sphere.
Ambition must never be our master. Patience serves our noble cause best. But if our enforcer approves...
I do, I swear.
Then we move forward to Armageddon.
Keeper, the War Council needs you. Sir?
Call for a medic. Go!
Yes, sir.
What's our status?
Keeper and the others are on life support. Fixers theorized the transmission had a hidden overlay. A code or image only a genetically enhanced mind could recognize. Designed to overwhelm and shut down the brain.
They knew it would take an enhanced mind to find the data. This was insurance against that possibility.
Losing this many analysts, forget about Keeper. It's going to be a blow to the war. I'll support you where I can, but right now I've got a few dozen field agents without handlers. Your operation.
Take care of your people, Watcher 3. I'll proceed on my own.
While you were on Bel Savis, Keeper was compiling leads on the planet Voss. If you want to head there, I'll see what I can pull up. I've apprised the Minister of Intelligence. If he needs to contact you, he knows how.
I didn't know them well, but I'm sorry, sir. We'll hunt down the people who did this.
Cipher, hope you don't mind my checking in. You weren't expecting any other calls?
Hunter, my good friend. Who would I rather talk to?
I'm hoping no one. I get jealous. Your visit to Mega Security Ward 23 left it in bad shape. Now do I come into your house and break your things? But you finding that holotrap? Frying your keeper's synapses? That's kind of cosmic justice.
You're talking nonsense. Keeper's fine. And I don't know anything about a holotrap.
Of course. Cipher, it's been fun. Playing tag, brainwashing you. Remember your keyword? But you keep coming, and we'll destroy your world. No friends, no allies, no empire left to fight for. Are you ready for that?
You're not just playing. You're really worried about me.
Who else can I whisper sweet things to? Do you know what it's like to have no identity? No one in the galaxy who can control you? It's terrifying and wonderful. If you live to see Imperial Intelligence die, that's me giving you a taste of freedom.
I've learned to access your culture's holographic network. Listen. Trillion desperate attempts to communicate per second. I hadn't realized your species were so starved for interaction.
What have you discovered, sifting through those transmissions?
I now understand your frustrations. I look at you and see neurons fire in your brain. I scan your body and know how you taste. But you're blind, alone, and confused.
What you're describing isn't what people experience at all.
Perhaps. With your biological limitations, you can only achieve primitive imitations of genuine thought and feeling. Our time together has provided new information and sensations. These will prove useful in a future upgrade.
My good friend, have you noticed that the price of Dianogan tea has risen considerably since we broke the Treaty of Coruscant? One of the costs of war you never anticipate. And now my jamming device is working, so we can dispense with the inanities.
You're not usually this cautious. What's going on?
Thanks to a now wealthy Kubaz information broker, I've identified the people who want me dead. They represent an organization called Project Protean, a secret research and development group inside the Imperial Science Bureau.
You are good at this game. Give me the details.
Protean researches practical applications of alien biology. You recall the genetically modified assassins who came after me? They're only the beginning. Imagine troops spliced with Abyssin genes to enhance healing, or adrenals derived from Gamorrean hormones. Most test subjects don't fare well, but you can see the potential.
That sounds awfully like what you were doing on Terrace.
There's a great deal of interdepartmental rivalry in our work, and my research does overlap with theirs. They may have targeted me in order to ensure that they have no competition, inside or outside the Empire.
This is your operation. What's our next step?
Further study, I'm afraid. Right now, I'm unsure where the project is based or how to contact its members, but I wanted to keep you apprised. Now, about that Dianogan tea.
What do you have for me?
Encouraging news. Watch.
Don Herald, forgive the message, but our emissaries were out of reach and we couldn't wait to link with you. Imperial scout ships entered colony space and made contact yesterday. We traded in Membrosia, silk, and star maps. We could smell the men's fright, but they left in peace. Perhaps you were right after all.
A long way from a signed treaty, but it's a start.
It looks like your work is paying off.
So far. We're in touch with the diplomatic service as well. There's still resistance, but we're progressing. Killiks and Imperials may share space in our lifetime.
Sir, I just had a talk with Vector. Not something I do often, but I think I'm getting used to the eyes. When I was a little girl, the only aliens I ever saw were the Cuss City slaves. Now we see stranger things every day.
There are benefits to a job like ours.
Shame we're not allowed to take pictures. Anyway, I want to get more combat practice in before tomorrow. Talk soon?